Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Vishnu Ajipudi, and today we will be solving problem number 24 of the 2017 AMC 8. The problem reads, Mrs. Sanders has 3 grandchildren who call her regularly. One calls her every 3 days, one calls her every 4 days, and one calls her every 5 days. All 3 called her on December 31 of 2016. On how many days during the next year did she not receive a phone call from any of her grandchildren? And this not here is very crucial because we might end up answering the wrong question if we don't pay attention. So, how should we attack this problem? Well, generally, when we have problems where we have repeated intervals of something, like, for example, the number of numbers that are multiples of 3, 4, or 5, then we use something called the principle of inclusion-exclusion, or PI for short. And basically, this is just a way to count these elements in these sets in an organized manner so that we don't count something twice or forget to count anything. So, to find the number of days she did not receive the phone call, we take the complement of this result and subtract it from the total number of days in a year. There are 365 days in the year, so the desired value, which I'll just call n, is equal to 365 minus the number of days which she did get a call. And I'm going to be calling this C for call. Now, we can use principle of inclusion-exclusion to find C. C, by principle of inclusion-exclusion, you should really see my upcoming video on that, or you can check out another source like AOPS here. Because principle of inclusion-exclusion is actually one of the most used tools in competition math, and it's really handy in many situations. So here we know that C is equal to, first of all, we take the number of each case. So we can take these as for 3, we know that this is the 4 of total, which is 365 over 3. And if you don't know what 4 means, it basically means the number of whole times 3 can go into the number, the bottom can go into the top, while ignoring remainders. So in this case, to ignore remainders, we would get this as equal to 363 over 2, or 121. Similar logic, next one is 365 over 4, and the 4 of this is going to be equal to 91, since 91 times 4 is 364, while 92 times 4 is 368, which is larger than 365. This is 91, make sure it's a 9, not a 4. Finally, we have the 4 of 365 over 5, and since 365 is divisible by 5, this is simply 365 divided by 5, or 73. And now, for the second step of principle inclusion-exclusion, the ones where 2 people called her on the same day. And for this one, we subtract. So here we subtract. So if someone calls her every 3 days and another one calls her every 4 days, the combined is 12. So we subtract 365 over 12. And of course, we take the 4 of that. So that's minus 30. And then we subtract the same thing except 3 times 5. That's 365 over 3 times 5, which is 15. And in this case, we'll have that the floor of this is simply equal to, I believe, 24. And then finally we subtract these two together, which is 4 and 5. That's simply 4 of 365 divided by, so 4 of 365 divided by 4 times 5, which is 20, which is just going to be equal to 18. And the final step of principle of inclusion exclusion is adding back the number of ways where all three events happen. And let's just ignore that 8 on the side. So this is just going to be equal to subtracting. So I just pull this up here. That's not enough space. So we have 188. Then we subtract again. This time 4 of 365 over 3 times 4 times 5, which is 60. And this one's going to be a plus actually in principle of inclusion exclusion. So you add 6. And I don't know why there's 2 8s here. It's 18. Now we have 121 plus 91. That's 212. 212 plus 73 is 285. Minus 30 is 255. Minus 24 is 231. Minus 18 is 213. Plus 6 gives us 219. But when we look back at the test, so we have C is equal to 219. But looking back at the answer choices, we see that 219 isn't there. And that's because we have to remember to take 365 minus the complement. If the MAA was a bit less lenient, they could have easily fooled us into circling this as our answer. So our real answer is going to be 365 minus C, or just 365 minus 219, which is a grand total of 146. And we are done. Oh yeah, 146 is choice D. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, as well as click the bell icon. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please post them down below or email me at caspirations@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. Bye!